This morning, the U.S. is closing in on a grim milestone, 1 million COVID deaths. President Biden releasing a statement commemorating those lives lost.
He's expected to speak later this morning as the White House hosts the second COVID summit. Now, while the White House is reporting 1 million COVID-19 deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University, the database that we use, the U.S. has recorded 998,997 COVID-19 deaths. White House correspondent Kellen Howell joins us from D.C. this morning with what we can expect from the president. Good morning, Kellen.
Good morning, Alex. Well, the president is expected to issue a proclamation a little bit later this morning, ordering that all flags be flown at half staff to commemorate those 1 million lives lost. And again, this is the White House saying that we are marking that occasion today. The president also issued a statement this morning to honor those lives. And I want to just read a little bit of this because there was some really poignant language that the president used. He says, as a nation, we must not grow numb to such sorrow. To heal, we must remember. We must remain vigilant against this pandemic and do everything we can to save as many lives as possible, as we have with more testing, vaccines, and treatments than ever before. He says it's critical that Congress sustain these resources in the coming months. So again, another plea from President Biden and from the White House to members of Congress to pass that emergency supplemental funding request for $22 billion. That has still been stalled in Congress, and earlier this week, lawmakers decided to uncouple that funding from an emergency funding request for Ukraine military aid. The White House had hoped to pass those two things together, but unfortunately, the White House says that is not going to be the case at this time. Later today, the president is kicking off this virtual global COVID-19 summit, and he's expected to deliver some remarks that'll be aired at about 9 a.m. And he's going into this summit with other world leaders pretty much empty-handed at this time. At the last global summit, the White House had pledged to donate over 1.2 billion vaccines to countries around the world. But without more funding, they say they are not going to be able to reach that goal. So far, the U.S. has donated about 540 million vaccine doses, which is still more than any other country, but they do say that they're not going to be able to reach that earlier commitment that they made. President Biden is expected to also call on other world leaders today to maintain this importance of being vigilant around COVID-19 and to keep it as a top international priority, Alex.
All right, Kellen Howell from D.C. this morning. Thanks, Kellen.